Hi everybody, it's Angel doing this a little bit differently. I have this funky new app, so let's see how well it works. We are here with
Jennifer Talley.
And Jennifer, who are you and what do you do?
I am one of the lead investigators for an organization called Nola Paranormal Society.
And what do you do with the New Orleans Paranormal Society?
So I'm part of a team that takes people on ghost experience tours where we teach you how to be a paranormal investigator. We call it responsible spirit communication.
I love that. Responsible spirit communication. Glenn, you get that one? You get that? Okay, you can get that one. We're going to put that in our title too. Go ahead.
And then I'm also part of the investigative team that takes private cases as well, helping people in different situations, including a couple demonic cases.
Wow. Okay, and you're also a medium.
I am. I found that out last year.
Last year? Are you kidding?
No.
Okay, dude, I talked to you last night. You are seasoned in a year? Wow. So how did that come about? And how did this all come about for you?
So about 5 years ago, a good friend of ours took me on a ghost hunt, just a little one at a location here. In fact, it was the one you were at last night.
The Andrew Jackson?
No.
Or the other one, the
Priestess
second location?
Claudia's, yeah.
What is it? Priestess Claudia's.
Yeah,
yes.
Starling Magic. Just because I watched all the shows and I wanted to just do it, right? And I ended up kind of being a spirit magnet, and we were trying to figure out why. And I was also just a walking tour guide. I did history tours, cemetery tours, ghost tours, traditional stuff. And some weird stuff started happening to my husband in photos where limbs of his were disappearing.
What?
On the pictures. And I could send those to you.
Yeah, please.
And he was feeling kind of weird, off, I guess is the best way he could put it. And so he showed the pictures to a few people around town and decided to call in a lady named Dr. Joy to come into our house, do a cleansing, and try to do some readings with us and try to figure out what the heck this was. And I told him before she showed up, and at that point we were together, almost 16 years, and he said, that's because I see dead people, and I'm supposed to be able to hear them and see them, but I'm not acknowledging them, and it's because I'm not paying attention to them, so now they're affecting you to get my attention.
Right.
And so he looked at me like I was speaking alien.
Yeah.
Until Dr. Joy showed up and said, so the reason that exactly what you just said.
And yeah, exactly. They have to hear it from somebody else, right? Of course.
And then it took me 3.5 years to find somebody to help me. Wow. Because I was told you have a choice. You can try to push it back, she said, which is going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Or you can try to fine tune it and see where this goes. And nobody would help me.
Oh. Here in New Orleans?
Nobody would help me.
Wow.
They looked at me like I was weird. How dare you ask me? You're going to take my business. And then I happened upon the two gentlemen that own Hands of Fate, and they're the only ones that helped me. And I found out a lot of it was caused by headaches. A lot of it was caused of what I thought was anxiety. Those physical things, fibromyalgia.
I absolutely love your energy. You are so real and so genuine. It's so beautiful, and the spirits must love you for that, because you're so truthful in the way you are and present.
I have a couple at my house that call me the angel.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, there's one guy who said, "You're very bright, light, white. You're the angel."
So now you're here at this point in your career. How do you feel about that? Like, when you look back where you were and where you are.
I'm floored, actually. Doing this is not work to me.
It's a calling.
It is, and I guess I made the choice to figure out how to enhance gifts, so to find out I have all the extra senses, plus being a physical medium, so I get the whole package.
Yeah.
Then the first time the dimmer switch, I call it, turned all the way up, because it's never off, right? And I started getting messages from this woman on my tour's mom, who passed away just a few weeks before they were on the tour, just to tell her she's at peace, she's not in pain, she's okay, she's still with her, she loves her, she wants her to heal and be okay. Just the message, being able to deliver that message to that woman and see the look on her face, the tears of comfort, that was it.
Yeah.
That
You
was
knew
it.
that you were home.
I have to do this.
Yeah.
It's a special gift to be given, and it's a special gift to give the living and the dead that healing.
Yes. And so, having said that, you have had circumstances, though, where having your support team, having Chris, having that kind of thing have been exceptionally important, because as wonderful as it is, we also have those situations that can be scary, to say the least. And we don't have to go into it if you don't want to, but they can be scary in the least.
And we can.
Okay.
I've learned, you think that watching shows like The Long Island Medium, you don't see what she has to go into, because all they portray is all the fun, good family and friend spirits that she reads, and she hears these people. But what people don't know is you don't get to choose that. When you open yourself to these gifts, you get it all.
Yeah.
And you've got to filter and protect on your own very militantly.
Yes. Agreed.
There's consequence. There's you don't just get the little good, you don't get the fuzzy bunnies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a whole range of things. And working on the investigations team as a medium, what's that like?
I tend to be the guinea pig.
I got a taste of that last night.
Yeah. He loves to do that. I tend to be the one on the other side of the SLS camera where I can't see anything, and then I get, all right, do you feel anything?
Yeah.
Do you see anything?
Gee, I don't feel on the spot at all. That's okay.
Yeah. Or they follow me and say, tell me when you see something.
Yeah.
And it's always sometimes comes across as this, them validating that I can really do it.
Yeah.
And it is a little for me too. But it can become scary. We had an investigation we called the Demon House. We were duped into it. And I say that because we were called in to investigate a spirit of a woman who was murdered there. Early on in our career, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of our first private investigations. And when I tell you we made almost all of the rookie mistakes you could make going into something like that, we did. And we paid for it. We went in with no protection. We went in without any history. We went in without any research.
No safeties.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing we brought were some crystals and a Class 2 St. Michael exorcism relic. And if it wasn't for that relic that night, I would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Because that was not the spirit of that woman.
Yeah.
And that was not a human spirit.
And yeah, we were talking about that I had one of those stories as well with
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah.
This
yeah.
thing kicked me in the head and broke the stone in the relic in 3 pieces, but never cracked the glass. And they had video of it kicking me in the head.
Wow.
As I held it above my head. So, yeah, that stuff's real. And that's, I think...
And I think that's something that people tend to forget.
Yeah.
They watch the movies and they see the happy ending.
Yeah.
Although I've seen a few films these days where the ending isn't so happy, and that's a good learning. It's a moral story rather than a Gitchy. Hey, look at us, we beat the monster.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important that people like you and I actually mention that and tell people that this is not something to play with. This is real.
It is real. And you, even as the investigator going into it, so in the back of your head you think, okay, this is all real.
Yeah.
But really, you still have a part of you saying, wow.
Is
How
it?
real
But
is
is it?
this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you see holy water burn skin, when you see the eyes turn black, when you see voice change, when you see a lot of those things that were portrayed in movies in front of your own face,
Yeah.
in your own eyes,
Yeah.
it's your holy crap moment for sure.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that the average person, that could throw them around the bend. You need to be made to do that. You are born with these abilities. Like, there are some people who are just made to be able to work with this kind of thing, whereas the majority of people are not. And as Sam said, and this has been reiterated many times, and we on our team say this too, the rarity of seeing or experiencing a demon or any kind of demonic thing, it's high. It is such a rare thing.
It is.
Right? So lucky or unlucky, however you want to put it, just understand, everybody who is out there watching, don't start, looking under your couch for, for some sort of, demon or whatever you think it might be.
Yeah.
Right?
It isn't. And,
Yeah.
you know, I tell people on the tours, too, remember serial killers died, too.
Yeah.
Think about that energy and how messed up they were when
Yeah.
they were alive. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, that's right.
And even just people who like to mess with people,
Yeah.
see them be scared. It could be that too.
Yeah.
It is so rare. We've had 2 demonic cases.
Yeah.
So think about how rare that was. And the second one, good. The lady died.
Yeah. And it happens, right? There was a question I was going to ask you, and now I've forgot. Oh, yes. Thank you. The people in the group when you're on tours, are you concerned, like, do you ever get concerned about their safety? Is that something, like, what do you do to work with them to make sure that they're not afraid, to make sure that they are safe? Because you know things, obviously, that they may not, right? Because of the experiences you've had. Right. So what do you tell them, or what do you say to them to make them feel good about the experience?
So we teach them that the human spirits we're going to interact with are no different than us. They're just us without the human suit. That's it. So if you're to talk aggressively to a living person in front of you,
yeah,
think about what would happen, right? Provoking, cussing. Yeah. Someone's going to throw a fist, right? You do that to a spirit, they have other ways to throw that fist. And that's where your attachments come on.
Yeah.
And inviting them to do certain things.
Yeah, provoking. Yeah.
And inviting them, like, well, come at me. No, that's not okay. Those things that you see, they don't understand that there's parameters in the back end of those shows where there's a team of people ready to go, okay, he's slimed now, let's get it off of them.
Yeah.
And so we teach people that if you just have normal conversations, you should be okay.
Yeah.
There's always a risk.
And exactly. And if anything starts to get out of hand, you're experienced enough to be able to see that. But 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen anyway.
Right.
And what I really, really love is that you guys not only have locations set and a routine and you understand it, but you've created relationships with the spirits at these locations. You just don't go there to poke the ghost.
Right.
You go there to give them what they need too, because it's interesting. Last night when I was with Chris, I felt the companionship. I felt the, like the Chloe and how much he cares about her, and Master and Armand and the conversations you have with them. There's a real relationship there.
Yeah.
If you're going to be here, let's work together so we both get something out of it. How do you feel about that?
I think it's important. They're not our dancing show ponies, right? It's like showing up to a dinner party constantly and never offering to bring a side dish or a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
That's how we look at it. Why should they? What are we doing for them?
Yeah.
We provide conversation if they want to have it. We'll bring whiskey or booze or food.
Oh, he was so upset with himself yesterday. Did he tell you he forgot the cookies? Yeah, for Chloe. Oh.
Yeah.
She was laughing, though. She was a little upset, but she was laughing.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing.
Yeah. So I mean, we do try to create relationships. And sometimes we just ask them, what do you want to talk about?
We did that last night. Actually, we were there and we were trying to ask questions, and then finally, I think it was me that turned around and said, "So, what do you guys want to do? What do you want to show us?" So, do you find that your relationship with Chris is like, how do your abilities and his interests and that kind of stuff with the investigation team? What is a day in the life like for you two?
It's honestly, in some ways, brought us closer, and in some ways, I think some days he looks at me and says, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
He was with me for 15, 16 years, and all of a sudden, this woman I knew and I married is a medium. What the heck? And religiously and spiritually, we were brought up very different. Southern Baptist, Catholic, for me. Then I find out I have a bloodline of witches on both sides of my family.
Oh, madre mia.
And Bohemian witches, we'll just go there.
Wow.
And it's just been that
stuff you have to work through.
How do you just adjust to it? Just his faith alone has been challenged by doing this, because most people that practice his faith think that we're doing the work of the devil. And so there's that struggle.
Yeah.
His grandfather was a deacon in a Zion Baptist church. He's on our family altar at home, and it was funny. My husband thought, oh, they're mad at me or they're not around me, until I said, "You're wrong." I was very emphatic, and he said, "Okay, fine. What TV show did my grandma and grandpa and I watch every Sunday night?" I turned around and looked at him. I said, "Hee haw. Would you like to know what the color of his chair was